Greetings, Earthling chicky babies and adventurous aliens. Quork and I are here to drip the coffee on Avatar, Fire and Ash with our usual non-spoiler review, spoiler recap, and spoiler review.
Alien creature mashups, here we come!
And my apologies for the drop in posting, but it's been a busy month, and if you'd like to see our Chief of War review series, click here. And with no further ado, I am Mei, this is Quork, and onward. Avatar 3 is James Cameron doing what he has done before in Avatars 1 and 2, yet also diving more deeply into character and expanding the world of Pandora. It's a collision of loyalties, parenting styles, and cultural views smashing into each other in ways that actually feel earned. Cameron's world building is huge and gorgeous, with an entirely new Na'vi tribe who are prickly, dangerous, and have a spicy female leader, Varang. Of course, their theme is fire.
You think?
Emotionally, this movie lives in slightly more grown-up territory where love turns into overreach, fear becomes defiance, and even the good guys get dragged into moral dilemmas they were not prepared for. There are moments where you're like, okay, are we actually doing this? Oof. Like the last two films, it's a ginormous feast. Cameron has oodles of new flora, fauna, and explosions popping out of the screen.
And into your lap!
You don't even have a lap. The action and stakes are bigger, but some elements do seem to be a retread of the last film. If you loved Avatar 2, this will grow your fondness. If you didn't, just enjoy the pretty visuals and Neytiri and the new villainess hissing at each other, but you might feel things you did not expect.
I feel something. Rage! Where are the alien ravens? Where?
Now if you're enjoying our videos so far, please like and subscribe. It helps give a new channel like ours some legs. Avatar 3 opens by pulling us right back into the wound, a flashback to young Will. Sorry, wrong franchise. Loak and his deceased brother Neytiri flying their banshees and yucking it up. But this is just a dream. Loak still is feeling the pain of his loss and his self-blame too. Jake and Neytiri are also raw from their losses in Way of Water, but due to a malfunction with Spider's gas mask, they decide to move the family to a safer place. En route, they are attacked by the Ash people, the new Na'vi culture. These aren't ocean pacifists, they're straight-up pirates, and they pillage and maim, destroying the merchant ship and its gas giant alien balloons, shooting Neytiri through with an arrow, separating the kids, and then of course, Quork and Jake have their first showdown.
They really just need to give in and kiss.
Varang is a fierce warrioress who has reimagined herself and her followers in fire and destruction. She rejects Eywa and blames her for the loss of her village to a volcanic eruption. While she and Neytiri both have lost so much, they instantly hate each other, and lots of cat hissing ensues. Loak is at that awkward teen phase where he wants to act as an adult, and though he's been put in charge of the kiddos, he wants to do more. When the kids go back to the shipwreck to get Spider's spare mask, the Ash people are there looting and then chasing them. Fortunately, Loak leads the kids to a river and they escape. Kiri's been diving deeper into her connection with Eywa, despite an angry wind and jungle barring the way on her vision quest.
Why is Eywa even mad?
Maybe she's testing Kiri? Then, when Spider's air is running out and he lies there gasping, Kiri shoves an air jellyfish into his mouth and prays to Eywa, who grows mycelium threads into him. These enable him to breathe Pandora's air. Jake and Quork's huge fight and stalemate devolves into wisecracks. They find the kids, and it's not good that Quork knows Spider, a human, can breathe Pandoran air. This becomes a problem during the rest of the film. Neytiri and her banshee have fallen, Neytiri with the arrow in her, but her banshee flies her to the good guy research lab and they save her. She insists on going to find her fam, and the lab comes with. And when they do find the fam, Quork disappears, conveniently.
Because cowardice!
They return to the reef village, where the kids swim with Payakan and the Tulkun, and briefly enjoy being kids again. Jake, though, clashes with Loak over Neytiri, each still carrying guilt and misplaced blame tied to the death. Neytiri and Ronal share uneasy conversations, and a Tulkun council is called. The elders decide Payakan must be banished for his past violence and for inspiring the younger bulls. Loak explodes, speaking out of turn, and Jake pulls him away, their argument exposing just how fractured the family still is. Meanwhile, Quork cuts a deal with the Mangquan, help him hunt Jake's family, and he'll supply weapons and explosives. Varang drugs him, decides the alliance is on, and the two become entangled, personally as well.
Maybe getting some action will make him less of a douche.
Then Quork informs the corporation/army contingent of of Spider's abilities.
Nope.
While the Manquan hunt down Jake and his fam, Parker, Scoresby, and General Ardmore go after the Tulkun, slaughtering nearly all of Payakan's clan and preparing an attack designed to draw Jake out. Back at the village, Neytiri strengthens her injured shoulder, and Loak quietly repairs her broken bow, then slips away to find Payakan. In a show of loyalty, his teen water people friends join him. Spider's out in the forest with Kiri and gets captured by Quork and the Manquan. As human war machines close in, after a tense standoff, Jake realizes they're outmatched and surrenders. He's locked in a clear cage, photographed and filmed on troops' phones like a trophy, while Spider's subjected to scans and testing. Quork tries to connect with Spider, who's his son, and Spider pretends to listen, steals his dog tag, and uses it to escape. The villains plan a massive ambush during an upcoming Tulkun mother and calf gathering, a year's worth of profit in one strike.
Because they're stuck in the 80s, with Gordon Gekko thinking greed is good.
Horrified, marine biologist Dr. Evan Garvin defects, crashing a massive bulldozer through the facility and freeing Jake just as Neytiri arrives on her Banshee, raining explosive arrows. Jake escapes under the bulldozer as it smashes through the compound. Cornered by a helicopter, Jake is shielded by Spider, who's too valuable to kill with his ability. Ardmore orders the strike anyway, but Neytiri destroys the helicopter and escapes with both of them. On the way home, Jake decides Spider is too dangerous to keep alive, fearing humans will use him to adapt and strip Pandora bare. He nearly kills the boy and can't do it.
Some things can't be undone, plus the audience would be pissed.
The final battle begins. Jake has Ronal and Tonawari rally the clans. Loak and his friends return with Payakan and the only other surviving member of his clan, who is still riddled with unexploded harpoons. A new council is called, and the elders swim off to debate. Human submarines and ship advance on the Tulkun mothers and calves, and the elders strike first. What follows is absolute insanity. Tulkun leaping and crushing vessels with their weight, Banshee riders attacking from the air, Payakan dragging Scoresby to the ocean depths. But the Manquan joined the fight along Quork, and losses pile up on all sides. Kiri goes underwater to connect with Awa, nearly drowning until a Pandoran ray creature and Spider, now equipped with a Kuru, help her reach the spirit network, and Awa responds. Squid-like creatures swarm the battlefield, ripping soldiers from ships, while wild banshees swarm in from the jungle and destroy aircraft. Plus, the flux vortex begins pulling everything into its own destructive tornado. Ronal gives birth and passes on, and while Neytiri rescues the newborn, she is captured by Quork, who also seizes Tiri, her youngest child. Neytiri and Varang finally clash, their mutual resentment erupting into a brutal fight. Neytiri drives Varang away and reunites with her children. Jake and Toruk fall into the sea, and when he surfaces, Jake faces Quork amid ships and rocks rising into the vortex, with a lake of fire below. Quork refuses to beg for his life and lets himself fall into the flames. With the evil humans defeated, the clans gather to mourn and heal. Through Awa, the fallen are honored as they visit them in the Vision World. Loak is reunited with his brother Neteyam, and Spider is finally welcomed into the clans.
Family isn't always blood. It's about the bonds of loyalty. Before we swoop into reviewing this tasty morsel of a show, I have a request. If you'd like to support our fledgling channel, flutter over to Mei's Etsy shop. She has designed over 300 art prints, perfect for nesting your space or gifting something delicious. Paper on canvas, framed or unframed, there's a little something for every perch. Now, on to the review.
Avatar Fire and Ash is, first and foremost, a spectacle. This film is stunning and absolutely worth seeing on the biggest screen possible. There are new creatures, savage new clans, wild makeup and costuming, and an ash biome that is refreshingly non-Pandoran with gray ashen fields where the Manquan live. And I'm glad they've added volcanoes to Pandora. It adds some small realistic element. The emotional arcs mostly work. You can't help rooting for the heroes, especially the younger trio. Loak, Spider, and Kiri all get real arcs, not filler arcs, not future franchise arcs, but actual growth. With Loak, there's a familiar father-son tension here that is similar to the one in Stranger Things. The parent saying, "You're not ready," and the kid saying, "I already am." And I enjoyed it. Neytiri's arc really fits her character. She's raw, reactive, grieving through her fury and fierceness. Her scenes with Varang crackle, not only because they're enemies, but because they're two women seething with their losses and finding someone to take it all out on.
Because that's so healthy.
Jake, meanwhile, is the most vulnerable we've ever seen him. He's still the tactician, but that's the problem. He parents Loak like he's still fighting a guerrilla war, defaulting to criticism, choosing strategy over connection. But he comes around eventually to see his son's value. Varang and the Ash people, honestly, are Cameron flexing. They're not nativistic caricatures, they're political, ritualistic, and territorial. Their trauma is their bond. Varang is one of the trilogy's strongest characters, logical, ruthless, brimming with fury. She's turned her trauma into a community and wants revenge on the entire world.
Editing Quork here. One thing we forgot to mention in our first script is how Varang uses her kudu to subjugate people. It's basically a mind. And this is absolutely disgusting. Though this character has been created in an interesting way, she's a pretty bad person.
Spider, though, this kid deserves a hug and years of therapy. His arc is the emotional throughline of the movie. He's caught between Jake trying to turn him into a soldier and Quork trying, disturbingly, to be a father. And the sad truth is that Spider wants one. That mutual longing and tension makes their scenes some of the hardest to watch.
Because we all want him to cuddle with the worst dad ever.
Loak finally steps into a hero arc that feels messy and human. He's not giving Chosen One energy. He's just a scared yet brave kid trying to protect people he loves, even if it gets him killed. The plotline keeps you moving between the character lines, and Cameron's got the budget to make his visual fireworks and music top of the line. Acting is dialed in all parts, even the children. Overall, for big dumb Hollywood, it's in the upper echelon of quality. And now, the critiques. Yes, the environmental message lands. Land, people, flora, fauna, over monetization, but it's so familiar and always preachy. We've been here before. Water people, whales under attack, humans as cartoonishly greedy villains. AOS stepping in at the last minute. It's pretty predictable.
Like Mei, in any kind of pie.
But there's also the recurring issue of cultural mishmash. Why did he need to insert Maori face tattoos, Native American style costumes and arrows, and Polynesian fishing hooks miles from water in a fire-based culture? These are aliens on an alien planet, and why not come up with some original styling? The intent might be allyship, but my eyeballs told me appropriation. Speaking of appropriation, how about this idea? Have indigenous actors play indigenous aliens. I really find Hollywood's rules of diversity to be uneven. It's okay for English, Irish, and Australians to play Americans or Germans, and a Filipina from the Philippines to play a Hawaiian.
Or real birds have been replaced by AI.
Shush! Also, the hyper-skimpy Na'vi outfits and male gaze framing were gross. And I feel like a lot of young viewers will get body complexes looking at the hyper-fit, tall, and super skinny Na'vi. I know my body image plummeted.
Especially since you're not 10 feet tall and your skin's not blue.
How's this for blue skin and 10 feet tall? Plus, what's up with the Manquan having one leader woman and the rest of the clan are male warriors? Is Quork the new favorite in Varang's harem? Mr. Cameron, I'm sure a lot of stunt women would have loved a chance to play badass Manquan women warriors. The villains also are aggressively one note.
Scoresby wants to extinctify every alien whale just because one chopped his arm off.
Arbor doesn't give a rat's ass about life.
Quork is fixated on Jake. Is he in love?
And Parker's a dumb bro. The writing doesn't want us to wrestle with great characters. It wants us to cheer when the horrible a-holes fall. But here's the thing. This movie isn't really about war. It's about unresolved grief turning into bad decisions. Every character is trying to heal, doing it with foolhardiness or fury. And Cameron uses that to push them into conflict. And even though Jake and the Na'vi won this round, the ending still hurts.
And it should. We've lost so many side characters.
Avatar 3 doesn't close wounds, it leaves them open. James Cameron is planning to make Avatars 4 and 5 with even a 6 and 7 mentioned, so the one-note greedy mofos will be back. This isn't a victory lap, it's a final reckoning before more and more final reckonings. But this exploration of grief is the most interesting place the franchise has ever gone. So for me, I'm giving it a solid 8. It gets points off for predictable, repetitive plotting, cultural appropriation, male gaze, and not enough woman warriors, while scoring strongly with relationship character arcs, top-notch visuals, and production.
I'm giving it a 0. Where are the alien ravens? Where?
Also, how did you rate the movie? Let us know in the comments. And so, Chicky Babies, we've come to the end of another review. Mahalo nui loa for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our video. Please do all the things.
Apply your hemorrhoid cream, hug your fuzzy baby birds, drink coffee.
Ahem.
Bye. Like and subscribe, and check out this link above me.
And from us to you,
Adios, MFs.
aloha oi.